So today we are diving into one of the most misunderstood and sometimes sensationalized parts of the internet, the dark web. What exactly is the dark web? What is really hiding there? And should you be scared of it? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you will have a clear and balanced view of what is going on in the internet's deepest and most secretive corners. First things first, let's get our terms straight. Most people think of the internet as what they see on Google, Facebook, or YouTube. But that is only the surface web, the part of the internet indexed by search engines. These are the sites you can find through a simple Google search. It's just scratching the surface. Below that layer, there is the deep web, which includes private databases, academic journals, medical records, subscription-based content, behind paywall articles, and corporate intranets. The deep web is not necessarily sinister. It is just not indexed by search engines. Then comes the dark web, a small subset of the deep web that is intentionally hidden and requires special software to access. You will often hear about the Tor browser, which stands for the Onion Router. Tor is designed for privacy and to anonymize your connection by bouncing it through multiple volunteer-operated relays around the world, making it much harder for anyone to track you or determine your real location. When you are using Tor, you can visit websites that have .onion domains, which are only accessible within the Tor network and cannot be reached by standard browsers. Now let's talk about how Tor actually works. In simple terms, it's like an onion with multiple layers. When you send your data, it is wrapped in multiple layers of encryption. Your data packet might go from your computer to a random entry node, then to a middle relay, and finally to an exit node. Each relay peels off one layer of encryption, revealing only the next hop in the chain, but not the entire path. The final exit node passes your request to the destination server, so that the website you access does not know both who you are and where you are connecting from. But while Tor is designed for privacy, it is not foolproof. If you are careless or click the wrong link, you could still get compromised. Malicious actors can set up fake entry nodes to intercept traffic, or adversaries might use correlation attacks if they have enough resources to monitor large parts of the network. In addition, if you reveal personal information while browsing, you can inadvertently expose yourself. So, just like other browsers, you must exercise caution in Tor. In addition to Tor, there are other anonymity networks like I2P, which stands for the Invisible Internet Project, and Freenet. Each of these networks has its own protocols, features, and use cases. I2P focuses more on anonymity within its own network, while Tor is designed to access both the regular internet and onion services. Freenet emphasizes censorship resistance and distributed storage, allowing users to share files anonymously across a decentralized network. Although these networks differ technically, they all attempt to provide users with a higher level of privacy and anonymity than typical web browsing. So, what is actually on the dark web? There is definitely criminal activity. You will find black markets for drugs, weapons, stolen credentials, counterfeit currency, malware toolkits, hacking services, fake passports, and more. These markets operate like e-commerce websites. Users browse listings, add items to their cart, and pay using cryptocurrencies, most commonly Bitcoin or Monero. For increased anonymity, vendors often use escrow services to hold payment until goods are delivered, adding a layer of trust among anonymous parties that otherwise would have no way to verify credibility. One of the most infamous dark web markets was Silk Road, launched in 2011 by Ross Ulbricht under the pseudonym Dread Pirate Roberts. Silk Road allowed users to buy and sell illegal drugs using Bitcoin, and it was designed with a reputation system and automated escrow. The site made millions of dollars in transactions each month. However, in 2013, FBI shut down Silk Road and Ross Ulbricht was arrested. He was eventually sentenced to life in prison without parole. This takedown marked a significant blow against dark web marketplaces and sparked awareness about the implications of anonymity on the internet. After Silk Road was closed, Silk Road 2.0 and numerous other markets emerged, but they also met similar fates. One of the largest successors was AlphaBay, which launched in late 2014. At its peak, AlphaBay reportedly had over 200,000 listings for illegal goods and services. In 2017, law enforcement agencies from the United States, Canada, Thailand, and the Netherlands coordinated to take down AlphaBay. They arrested its alleged founder Alex Kazas in Thailand, and authorities seized millions of dollars in cryptocurrency, demonstrating the scale of these operations. Regardless of these things, the dark web is not entirely illegal. It also hosts forums and communication channels for political dissidents, whistleblowers, activists, journalists, and ordinary users who want to maintain their privacy. In countries with heavy censorship places where accessing certain news sites or social media is blocked, the dark web can be a lifeline for free speech and information sharing. For example, journalists use SecureDrop, an open-source whistleblower submission system that runs as a Tor hidden service to receive documents anonymously from potential sources. There are also communities dedicated to academic research and data sharing, as well as encrypted mail services, chat systems, and file storage platforms that prioritize privacy. Not every onion website is nefarious or criminal. Some are simply fulfilling a need for secure communication and data exchange in an age of rising digital surveillance and government overreach. But if you are thinking it is easy to stay anonymous in dark web, you're wrong. Mistakes such as using a personal email address for registration, misconfiguring your browser, or opening malicious files can compromise your anonymity. Adversaries, including cybercriminals and law enforcement, can use advanced techniques to de-anonymize users. So, unless you're an expert, you're always at high risk of being exposed. There's also a myth that all cryptocurrencies provide absolute anonymity. Bitcoin transactions, for example, are pseudonymous but publicly recorded on a blockchain. If your Bitcoin address becomes associated with your real-world identity, every transaction you make can be traced back to you. Cryptocurrencies like Monero offer stronger privacy features, using ring signatures and stealth addresses, but even they are not immune to forensic analysis by determined adversaries. Now, let's talk about some real-life stories from the dark web to illustrate these points. The Silk Road and AlphaBay case has already been mentioned, but there was also Hansa Market, which law enforcement agencies covertly took over and operated for several weeks to gather intelligence on sellers and buyers before shutting it down. These coordinated operations showed that dark web activity can be exposed when law enforcement agencies collaborate and gather intelligence across multiple jurisdictions. On a more positive note, consider the case of a journalist in a repressive regime using SecureDrop to safely communicate with sources. In such scenarios, the dark web can literally be a matter of life and death, allowing vulnerable populations to speak out without fear of immediate reprisal. During the Arab Spring, activists used Tor to share evidence and coordinate protests, bypassing government surveillance and censorship. Similarly, human rights organizations have used the dark web to document abuses and publish reports that might otherwise be censored or suppressed. We should also consider how the dark web has evolved over time. Early dark websites were often static HTML pages with simple login forms and basic PGP encryption. Today, many onion services are fully featured using modern web frameworks like React or Vue, multi-factor authentication, and encrypted databases running on hardened servers. Developers regularly update their software to patch vulnerabilities, but the constant cat-and-mouse game between hidden service operators and attackers means that new exploits and phishing traps can emerge at any time. Some cybersecurity researchers monitor dark web forums to gather intelligence on emerging cyber threats. For example, security firms often track mentions of new vulnerabilities, zero-day exploits, or emerging malware strains being sold or traded. This proactive threat or intelligence can help organizations patch systems before attacks go mainstream. In this way, the dark web serves as a window into the underground economy of cybercrime, providing valuable insights for defenders and law enforcement in real time. So, should you visit the dark web? Using the Tor browser itself is not illegal in most countries, since privacy is considered a fundamental right. However, laws vary by jurisdiction, and some countries may ban or monitor the use of anonymizing technologies. Even if you are legally allowed to use Tor, what you do on the dark web can cross into illegal territory very quickly. If you are just curious, stick to reputable .onion sites, such as the official Tor project website at torproject.org, DuckDuckGo's Onion service for privacy-focused searching, and ProtonMail's Onion service for secure email. But except for these, I won't advise you to visit other pages that might become a threat to you. If you are researching dark web markets or criminal forums, consider using a virtual machine that can be quickly wiped and reset. Use strong and unique passwords for any accounts. Enable two-factor authentication whenever possible, and do not reuse any credentials between the dark web and the surface web. In addition, you can also add a layer of security by using a paid VPN service that can be used over Tor. Just make sure the VPN company has strict no-log policy. Be aware that even browsing with the Tor browser can reveal browsing patterns if you are logged into personal accounts or if unique fingerprints are detectable. Even if you never venture into the dark web, these lessons of privacy, security, and digital hygiene apply to all of us, no matter what we do. At last, I hope this video gave you a clear and balanced look at what is really hiding in the deepest parts of the internet. The dark web is not just a haven for criminals. It is also a tool for people seeking privacy, free speech, and uncensored information. Like many technologies, it can be used for good or ill, depending on who wields it and how.